Hello again. I just wanted to talk real quick about this. I got this on Amazon for 15 bucks. This is another Bluetooth adapter for the Nintendo Switch. Um, and I just wanted to go over it and I'll do a little quick comparison. Um, my thoughts comparison on this versus the Switch Up. So yeah, let's get into it. So basically, all this comes with is the device itself, and a manual full of broken English. You're more than welcome to read that. They're always fun to read. But yeah, here's the device. It's very basic. There's a button, sync button, and there's a switch here. So you can switch between PS3 mode, PC mode, or Nintendo Switch mode. Okay, so I'm mainly using it for the Nintendo Switch. I doubt I'll ever use it for my PC because I can just sync my Xbox One controller for that or PS3. Like I have a PS3, but yeah, I don't play it, so not going to use that. But other than that, this thing does function very well with two controllers, and I'll show you the two controls right now. Xbox One S and PS4 Bluetooth. So, I did have a lot of success with those two controllers. They work great just as well as the Switch Up. They worked great on that. I did not, I could not sync a PS3 controller. Um, this is actually a third-party generic controller. It would not sync, and I think I know why. There was actually several runs of the PS3 controller. They did have a proprietary Bluetooth system incorporated in the beginning, and I think that's what this one uses. It's only exclusive to the PS3. Can't use it for anything else, and I think that's why this one doesn't sync because it's using older technology. They did later on revise the PS3 controller to have a standard Bluetooth, which will sync to pretty much anything, kind of like how the PS4 controller is. I mean, it's a more commonly used Bluetooth, not so much. You can't sync it to like the Xbox or anything like that, but I mean, these can sync pretty much anything. Like you can sync it to your phone if you just plug in this and plug it into your phone, go through the pairing, and then unplug it, and it'll sync directly to your phone. This third-party controller does not work that way. This is a generic, only works with the PS3. So unfortunately, I could not really get it to work with the Switch or with the Bluetooth adapter on my Nintendo Switch. If I do wired, it works okay. But for some reason, it'll drop out randomly. Like it'll work for 10 minutes and then it will stop working altogether. I have to unplug it and resync. And sometimes it'll work for 2 minutes and then do the same thing. Sometimes it'll work for 30 seconds and then I won't be able to use it. I'd have to unplug it and resync it. So there is an issue with third-party controllers in this device. That doesn't really work that well. When I plug this into the Switch Up and use wired connection, it works great. Like you can play for hours on it. In fact, I think I ran it for about an hour and 30 minutes playing Fortnite, and yeah, this worked great. I was surprised. Like, I mean, it feels good. This is a generic controller, third-party controller, but it does feel good for a generic. It's not the best controller in the world, but buttons do feel pretty solid. So this one's kind of wearing out already. That's one of my concerns with this. Is this button is like getting mushy. This one's still nice and stiff. This one's kind of like a softer push. But other than that, it works good for, on the Switch Up. Works good with this. Wired only. You can't sync wirelessly to the Switch Up on this. Xbox One controller, classic Xbox One controller, worked great with this. Wired, again, wired. And surprisingly, I connected a Wii controller wirelessly. But for some reason, none of the buttons worked. And the only time I got like a response was if I plugged in the nunchuck, and then like everything would go crazy on the screen. Like it just start pushing random buttons. If you sync it to this one, the Bluetooth adapter, it would just kind of just like jump all over the screen and do whatever it wants. This is a really dirty controller. I actually pulled this out of a box I had sitting in the garage. So maybe I'll clean it up. That could be it too. Why it wasn't really functioning properly is because this controller has been sitting in a box for like, I don't know how long. Yeah, that could be why it wasn't really working that well. Um, but yeah, other than that, this little device, I say, is worth it. If you have an Xbox One S controller or a PS4 controller that you want to use on your Nintendo Switch, I would pick this up versus paying for the Switch Up. I already have the Switch Up, so I'll probably use this one more than this. But um, the benefits of using the Switch Up is it works with a it works a lot better. The wired connection does anyway. Um, Works a lot better with older controllers. I did try an Xbox 360 controller wired, and this one, for some reason, it kept drifting up. The stick kept drifting up slowly, and I thought it was the analog on the Xbox 360 controller, but when I had plugged it into the Switch Up, I had no drift at all. So it's something's buggy about the USB port on this. I tried to look if there's like a firmware update or something, and there's nothing. Couldn't find any firmware updating software for this altogether. So, um, other than that, if you're just planning on using your Xbox One S or your PS4 controller, I highly recommend this because this is the cheapest adapter that I found that works good. There is the Mayflash and the 8-bit Do. There's a lot of videos on those, so I'm not going to do a video on those at all. I was planning on doing a comparison between all four of them. So far, I actually had a fifth one, a fifth device. It was like half the size of this, and it claimed it was Bluetooth, but all it came with was a Bluetooth dongle. And when I plugged it in, it did not work with any controller I had, except the iPega controller. And the B and A button and the D-pad worked. Everything else did not work on it. So that thing was pretty much crap. I tried using wired connection on it too, like the Xbox One Classic controller. Same thing. The A and B worked. The D-pad worked. Nothing else worked on here. So that thing was pretty much crap. I'm just going to toss that one. I was going to send it back, but there's no point. I mean, that one was probably like $6. So there's no point in sending it back. Maybe I'll keep it for the NES, the online Nintendo service. Maybe not. That thing is shit too. That online service is terrible. But anyways, so in comparison altogether, I would say it works just as well as the Switch Up for the Xbox One S and the PS4. Everything else doesn't work. That's all I gotta say. On the box, it does have pictures of controllers that work. I don't know why you would need the Joy-Con, but maybe if you want to play that on the PS3, you want to use Joy-Cons on the PS3. I'm not gonna test that. So, but yeah, so all of these controllers supposedly work. What it doesn't tell you is which ones are wired. So the Xbox One Classic would be wired. The PS3, as far as I know, would be wired. And the Logitech would have to be wired. I don't have a Switch Pro controller anymore because I have a Wii U, but I don't have a Switch Pro. A Wii U Pro controller. I don't have that anymore. I actually got rid of that. I do have a Switch Pro controller. I haven't taken it out of the package because I have those Power A controllers that I bitch so much about. But yeah, other than that, this little dongle actually works. So if you want to spend the $15 and get like a adapter for your Xbox One S or your PS4, pick this up. Highly recommend it just for that purpose though. It's not like the Switch Up where you can just plug in any USB controller and it'll function. This one is very limited when it comes to that. Doesn't have the functionality like the Switch Up does. And if you're into mods, this does not have mods, obviously. But yeah, so this is a recommendation I give to you for any Xbox One S or PS4 controller. That's it for today. You guys have a great day. Alright, just one more thing I wanted to show real quick. So you can see my Xbox One S controller right there. Nintendo Switch hooked up to my portable TV. But you can also put the Amazon adapter into the port in the back. And it fits. Everything works. It's a snug fit, but everything fits. Probably what I'll do is I think I'm going to take off this black casing on this because, I mean, It's not a big deal. If I take it apart, it's mine. So I think I'll take that off and just actually leave that on my switch dock. You can see it fits very well in there actually, and it's running very well. You can close the back lid. The only thing I don't like is if you apply a little bit of pressure here, it'll actually push this Bluetooth button down and unsync your controller, but you can close the lid and it won't do that. As you can see, controller's still connected, running great. So yeah, just wanted to show that off real quick. Sorry about the poor quality video. I don't have my setup right now, but I just wanted to show that this can do that as well. All right, you guys have a great day.